Why You Trippin? John Wayne Communale. Most people aren't too keen on taking a handful of mushrooms and immersing themselves into a public situation, but I'm not most people. I had an entire week off recently, but I wasn't going anywhere. I needed to burn some PTO before the fiscal year turned over and I lost it. By the fourth day, I had written, drawn, and masturbated about as much as I could. So I decided it was time to take a trip. A trip within your own mind. I had a bag of mushrooms I was holding on to for no reason in particular, and decided that today was as good as any to put them to good use. It was a Thursday, and my buddies Josh, Ned, and Ruth were doing their podcast, The Stack, at Heights Vinyl, like they did every other week. It just so happened that my good friend Connor was slated to be the guest that night, which I felt added to making the conditions more perfect for my little adventure. Maybe I pushed it too far, or maybe I jinxed myself by breaking my cardinal rule, which is never telling people when I'm tripping in public. Either way, the night did not turn out to be the happy, fun vacation party boys night out that I had hoped it would be. My night unfolded thusly. I engaged in some mild pre-partying before the show in the form of some beers with buddy Steven, and then smoked a huge blunt. Directly following, I crammed a bag of psychedelic mushrooms into my face while driving to the record store to see the show. Somewhere along the way, I picked up a six-pack of Lone Star Tall Boys. Before I knew it, I was in the parking lot with Connor while he brushed his teeth using only supplies he had found within his own car. It was impressive. This is where I broke my main rule. I told Connor that I had just eaten a frightful amount of the devil's pizza toppings. Inspiration struck Connor, and he spit out the frothy mess of toothpaste and what I assumed was tailpipe water. He asked if I would mind if during the show he, Josh, and Ned checked in with me to see how I was doing. He said we would call it would be a running gag, you know. We'd call it checking in with John Wayne. This is about the point where I start feeling pretty darn good about everything. And the name of the bit had a nice ring to it. So, you know, I told him, of course, I don't mind. Connor then told me that after the show, the whole gang was going to Avant Garden for Dollar Wells, and asked if I wanted to go. Fucking ain't right, I want to go, I said. I cracked the first of what would be would be too much, and soon lead to a whole six-pack of Lone Stars, and headed into the shop to watch the show. Sorry. As it went on, I started feeling, you know, more fucking awesome, and everything was hilarious. And I rolled with the check-in with John bit, signifying the awesomeness of how I was feeling with the enthusiastic thumbs up. I even participated in the discussion on stage about how one of Connor's co-workers was, whose lifelong crush was banging a youth group leader, or the youth group leader was banging her. I'm not sure. What I was sure of is that no one was banging that guy, and he was pretty butthurt about it. I was able to communicate the point that clearly and eloquently without steering the conversation towards love and how the universe was made of it. And how, you know, like, we're all perfect beings, you know, just existing as one collective consciousness, you know, stitched together by that love. Which means that pain is an illusion, and But we don't have to be afraid of anything, ever. All in all, yeah, I was pretty proud of myself for keeping it together. Before I knew it, the show was over and I was standing outside, tipping back the last of my six-pack while smoking a mystery joint that had appeared from nowhere. The gathering of ne'er-do-wells soon dispersed, and I was alone outside the record store with Connor. "Hey man, you still want to go to Dollar Wells with us?" he asked. "Fuck yeah, I do. Maybe. I mean, maybe I should ride with you and leave my car." "That's cool. That should be no problem." "Yeah, cool. Maybe I should go home, actually." "Oh yeah? Can you drive?" Yeah, I can drive. Actually, maybe I should call Katie to come get me." It was at this point I had lost control of, while everything around me had fell apart and went to complete shit. I spun around toward the oversized planter I was using to stabilize myself, and showered the young sapling in that it was housed in a warm, foamy beer vomit. Like a lot of it. I'm pretty sure Connor was behind me saying something that were probably words, and I was too busy puking all over the sidewalk and falling over. I lie on my side, limbs useless. I didn't stop puking out heave after heave of golden foam waves until all 96 ounces of the official beer of Texas was in a lukewarm puddle around my head. In the midst of the unpleasantness, Connor took my phone and keys from me, and while rifling through my pockets for cash in the process, he called my girlfriend, Katie, to let her know that I was probably ready to go home, and she was probably gonna have to come and get me. While arrangements were made to remove my person from the premises, Connor went inside, and I suddenly realized I was on the sidewalk in front of Heights Vinyl, lying in a puddle of puke all alone. I decided it'd be better for me to get inside. Get my shit together, you know? Before I pull a River Phoenix. I managed to make my way into the record store while I sat on the couch and puked in a bucket while Katie arrived. The ride home was a hazy, but pretty sure I was crying, apologizing a million times, and had to be helped from the front yard, where I collapsed again, before I got in the house. Now, Katie stopped on the way home to get a quesadilla in hopes that it would, eating something would make me feel better. Needless to say, I was far from being able to stomach food at this point. For the next 2+ hours, I lie on my face, on the couch, with my eyes closed tight, while translucent geometric patterns exploded in my head. Cool. When I came to, it was 3:37. A cold, stale quesadilla sat on the coffee table, inches away from my head. I shot up from the couch and ate the shit out of it. I'm pretty sure that quesadilla saved me from the terrible day-long hangover, because when I woke up again the next morning, 5 hours later, I felt in tip-top shape, and I went right to get my car. Thankfully, it hadn't been towed, due in part to a note Connor left on my dashboard that read, "Please do not tow. I was responsible last night. I did not drive my car, and I will be here no later than 12 p.m. Thank you for understanding." I'm not sure if the responsible part was, of the note was entirely accurate, but at least my car was still there. All things considered, it was the best vacation day. I have no regrets.